Okay guys, so here we are as promised. I'm giving you guys a video on this. Unfortunately, not as promised. I hadn't planned on being drunk tonight. I planned on being drunk tomorrow, or Thursday, sorry. Yeah, Thursday. So, but the cool thing is that we have this preview, right? So here's my first hit. This first hit, I was kind of just speculating on how I could do it. I really didn't have the idea down yet. I'm just kind of checking ranges here, you know, seeing what everything looks like, getting an idea, a feel for it. I figured it out pretty quick, actually, and I kind of had the right concept, but I didn't go with my gut instinct. I was just like, you know what, let's just burn this fleet, see how much damage I take. It was a 70, so not the highest level fleet, the next level down. These Punishers all have at least one resistance-specific armor on them. However, I will tell you right off the bat that these bases only really deal 2 types of damage. There's 4 weapons that I saw, minus the mines, which the cool thing about the mines is that they're actually destructible. So as soon as you wipe out those 2, look at those 2 little corner guys that are sitting right there. As soon as you take them out, the mines blow up. So that's kind of cool. The mines are destroyable, so you can actually do this strategy. I think this is actually the strategy how it was meant to be done. Not this strategy, but the one that I ended up figuring out, which is actually decently efficient. We'll get into that here in a little bit. I do a couple of hits on these things. Like I said, this first hit was really just, hey, let's see how much damage I actually take from these things. So I just go in and see, you know, I'm like, how hard is this Citadel to take down? How hard's this? You know, how much damage do I take? If I just sit here and take a crap load of damage, is it going to kill me? Just to kind of get a general idea of how much damage these fleets actually deal. So now I split them up into 2 groups, and I'm just going around, you know, killing things as I go by, not really giving a care for damage. Later on, I got curious. There's ones that offer, like, it's like got to be like 1,500 meters of range, little combat modules or whatever they want to call the xeno combat modules. I'm going to call them combat modules, but they only have like 1,500 meters range. So I get curious later, and I do check to see what kind of damage those deal. So you guys will see it. Like I said, this is just a precursory, hey, let's go figure out what the heck these fleets are hit. And I feel like for the level that it is and the amount of points that we're going to get from this level fleet, I don't think the damage is scaled too high. I think it's almost perfect. I'd maybe want to see a little bit less damage, but again, these are high-level marked Punishers. So I go back, I come in, I was watching another guy do a hit. This is kind of what he was doing against an 80. Wasn't working for him either. I eventually do figure it out, though. I think I figured out the best way. This is just showing you the wormhole is actually in the middle of the sector. They actually opened up a new sector, technically. If you try to do a move here command, you find yourself in sector 12 or sector 700. They only go up to 600. You find yourself in sector 700. So this hit here, I was like, okay, let's see how well we can do this with a sniper fleet. I do think that it's doable. If you're using Infernal Wave Driver or Damocles with Punisher escorts, I definitely think that you might even be able to hit the highest level. You might be able to hit the 80s with that kind of fleet. If you have 2 blue resists, you need a lot of blue resistance and a lot of xeno resistance. But I do think that you might be able to do it. Regardless, this fleet's level 46. I'll show you guys the fitting after this fight. I burned the whole 10 minutes on this fight. And I left with, I think I still had most of my destroyers intact, but I lost both of the decoys. So I was decoying well, but it just wasn't quite enough, and eventually I stopped clicking, I break them up, and I just start using the number keys. I honestly, I'm going to use this time to rant a little bit since this is a longer fight. I can't use the number keys, man. I've never been good with it. I'm trying to train myself how to do it. I've been using playing World of Warship, so I'm getting a little better with the keyboard because that game is strongly keyboard intensive. I used to play Eve back in the day, actually, and I used the heck out of my keyboard back then, but I stopped playing in 2013, so I've kind of been out of the game with using a keyboard, but you know, aside from typing, obviously, I know how to do that. But yeah, so here I would actually probably do this almost the same way that I end up hitting the the base in the end anyways, which I think is the next fight. I do my trial run, and then I have 2 more runs to show you guys on how one of them I wouldn't call it perfect, but you see the difference. And here I was just testing to see if you could actually exit the fight, but because the map is edged, and actually I think once you take contact or once you engage the enemy in a normal base, you can't exit the field anyways with that ship. I can't quite remember. I don't base that much anymore, but I'm about to start. I know a couple people have been asking for basing videos, so consider this your first. Once I get some of these new destroyers built, I will definitely be basing more. I mean, you can kind of see here, I know what I'm doing in a base. I don't do it that often, not anymore. But so yeah, it's pretty fun actually. Especially sniping. The sniping was actually way more fun than using cruisers. To wind up, what I end up doing is rimming the base with cruisers. The first hit was kind of a dud. The second hit went really well against the same fleet. Same level base of the same fleet. It's all about the application. That's why I'm going to show you guys both hits. I'm also going to show you guys an option that's out there for Fleet Bay 12 bases. With a lot of players have Punishers, but they have Fleet Bay 12, and they can only fit. They're limited on how many Punishers they can fit. So I'm going to show you a doable strategy that you can use Punishers for. I think I took 3 hours and 44 minutes of repair on that hit. Mind you, it would be about 4.5 hours without the repair bonus that we have right now. But yeah, it was fun. I actually had someone tell me in my alliance watching my videos that I say a lot, so I'm gonna try to work on that. But yeah, just hitting these. You can see that there I go again. You can see that the Revelation cruisers are starting to, their shields are gone. They're starting to take a lot more damage. Like I said, you take the only 2 damage types that you take, even against the little tiny, whatchamacallits, I don't know really what to call them, the combat modules, I guess, like I said earlier, for lack of better terms. They only do 2 types of damage. There's 2 different kinds of projectile weapons. When you get closer, it's a storm. Well, it's not really a storm style weapon, but you can see in the video, it almost looks like a lightning bolt or like an arrowhead that comes out. If you watch some of my, look very carefully, and you can see it in the preview. Oh, here's the fits, by the way. Revelation cruiser. They're both the same. Nothing special. Really low. I haven't used these in ages, not since crafting was released almost, but really, really low tech that I was using. And it doesn't show the repair time. But we'll move into the next hit where I rim the base. So the first thing that I did was figure out which side I want to go to. I had this crazy idea in my head, and you'll see me do it, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to hit this side, and then I'm going to go and hit that side, and then I'm going to rim around. I ended up, in the end, just rimming a single straight direction, which is the way that I should have done it anyways. It's the only way that makes sense. And it worked pretty well. It seems like there were a few different variations to the mine layouts, at least, and maybe the turrets. I wasn't paying that close of attention, but if you want to break this video down, feel free to do so. I kind of was, it's a little confusing at first, at least for me it was. I try to line my stuff up on the angle that I'm getting shot from to kind of give me a better angle for penetration, because they're like Storm meets AP driver turrets or whatever. They penetrate your ship and then they keep going through to the next ship and keep going. So you want to make sure that you maintain a good angle. I was still doing a bad job of that on this one, but the next hit I do a lot better of a job. And I was getting really, really close to the center. You want to stay out of the center of these bases. That's going to be the key, okay? And again, this goes into the strategy that I think Kixeye had in mind for these bases. You get into the center, it's a massive kill zone. You're in a huge crossfire. You can see it right there. I'm getting hit from 3 different sides. And those are penetrating shells, so there's multiple hits being taken right here at once. I still managed to come out of this with very, very little health left. I was a little nervous at first, and then when I got down to the last turret and I still had 2 left, I was like, okay, I'm going to win. But my suggestion, you'll see it in the next hit, where this one, after I killed, a whole side, I kind of went into the middle, took a lot of damage. The next hit, I wouldn't say a perfect or a flawless rim, but I rim pretty well, and I take way less damage doing it. You see here I'm down to, what is that, 18-19% health left, and I still have, he's about neck and neck. I think it says 13. It's hard for me to tell. It's a little window right now recording the narration. But as I go in, you basically just try to strafe to kind of, I do manage to avoid some damage, but I still take a lot of damage. But if you can shuck as much of that off as you can, if you're coining, that's money in your pocket, or still money in Kix's pocket, but it's less money in Kix's pocket, which is what you really want to do anyways. You want to try to mitigate your repair time, right? So that last little one down there, I decide that I'm just going to strafe backwards into it to see what kind of damage it does. It does do xeno damage, or alien type damage, but it's really similar to the nuke that the harvesters have, in the sense that it just, it's a pulsating, it's like a smart bomb from Eve, it just pulses and causes xeno type damage. So it really doesn't do that much damage, but it definitely could. You got to remember, I have 2 different xeno resistance armors on those. I don't know if you saw there, I don't know if you caught it. Here's the good rim, by the way. But if you saw there, it's kind of running super fast, but pause it real quick. I only got 1 reward from that gold box, and I thought to myself, that ain't right. Did I just see that? So I went back and watched the video again. Sure as hell, it was only 1 reward, and it was antimatter or mineral ore, one of the 2. And then the next hit, this hit actually, I do it again, and I recorded the turnout, and it was the same deal. I only got 1 reward, so... And you see when those mines explode, they have an explosive radius themselves, and they kill everything around them. So it's, I think that's good. Going through the mines would make this a lot harder. It's already hard enough. You already do take a lot of damage doing this. Did I just... So... I may have actually cut out and done the same thing that I did the first round, or I may have played. Did I do that? No, I didn't. This is a different hit. So apparently I did go around. You can honestly go around that second time, or you keep going the direction you're originally going. It does probably help a little bit to do it. I don't know. We'll play around with it some more, obviously. This is the first time that we're getting these offered, but I would definitely say that rimming is the way to go. And you'll see here that I'm trying to line my cruisers up and keep them on the very, very edge while keeping everything in range. I'm mitigating as much damage as I possibly can. This is the kind of rim where you just have to almost manually pilot every single ship to keep it as far from the center as possible at all times. And you probably could try coming through the backs. You really can't rush it. Honestly, like they said in the forums, in order to get a true victory, you have to kill everything 100% in the first go. So you see there, I strafe. I do a lot of strafing actions, and I could even tighten this up and group, do a lot better at mitigating damage. But I still do really well in this hit, compared to my first hit at least. And you just see that's the key to doing it, is keeping the edge of your firing arcs on the targets that are in the center while moving forward. You want to always be doing damage. There's that pulsing thing again. And then once I get to the end here, I just kind of, let loose and go at it. I start by killing that, the actual spire, whatever you want to call it, the bridge, because it does do the same kind of, explosive radius damage that our bridges do, and it'll kill a lot around it. So here it pops, bam, a lot of stuff dead. And then you just go and take out the last couple turrets. I took like 53% damage on this hit. So not a bad hit, especially compared to the first rim that I did. And you can see how easy it is to mess it up. But if you just stay on the very edge of their firing arcs and try to stay outside of their firing arcs, you'll do really well. This last one that I have is a hit that I did with my alt using Fleet Bay 12, and I have One Revelation with Manifold. I would try to use something like Nova Ray or something that deals direct damage, not the splash damage Manifold does. I thought it'd be a little better than it is. Then once I got in the battle, I immediately realized it's not that good. So kind of the same strategy. I think with this one I stayed going the same direction the whole time, and I just rimmed all the way around and then hit the base at the very end. So I can't stress enough the need to stay as close to the edge as you possibly can. I do think there's obviously spacing that's a lot greater than we get on our bases in terms of, you know, the space between modules in order to keep them powered. Even though they still have the power lines, they're really there just for, you know, show. When you are rimming though, watch those mines. Like I said, this base is almost designed so that you can do it this exact way. Kixeye did state that they know the strategies that work, so I would imagine that they did kind of player test this before they released it, and that's why the mines are in the locations that they are. Because you can see as I'm going around, I'm doing a decent job of rimming it, but those mines do get close, and both the last two and this particular hit, you can see I do get close to the mines, so just don't let anything stray off too far. Try to make your clicks within those mines, or at least control them if they do go outside of them. And catch them before they get too far, so like I did right there, essentially. So same thing in this one. I just go through, you know, I kill the base, call it good. This is going to be the strategy that I'm probably going to make a solid attempt at doing this event. This is really a fun event to do. It brings skill back into the events. We haven't been able to do that in a while, so I'm super stoked about it. I hope you guys are too. I look forward to posting more videos. I'll probably try to post another one as the event gets started and as I go through the event. But yeah, have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching.